Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today we're going to tie a LivelyLegz black bunny. Here's one I have tied up. Very simple. The hook that I have in the vise is a LivelyLegz lip splitter 710 size 14 barbless nymph hook, and this is 1 extra strong and 3 extra long, and it is black nickel. The bead that I have on there is a LivelyLegz down and dirty tungsten bead 2.4 for size 14-16, and this is a rainbow. You can see the rainbow on there. Very nice effect it has. And I'm going to use LivelyLegz medium black legs for size 8-10. Although this is a size 14 hook, because I'm using a larger size leg because I'm going to be putting a lot of dubbing around the legs. I'm using 70 denier ultra thread, and this is black. And we're going to put the base of thread down, starting behind the bead, and go back to the bend of the hook. Always hold your thread at a 45-degree angle, and you'll get the nice tight wraps. Of course, you have to hold that thread tight too. And we bring that back close to the bend of the hook. We can go ahead and break that off. Now for the tail, we're going to use black rabbit guard hair. Them nice guard hairs there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a bunch of these, find a spot that has some good guard hairs. Try this side here. Here's some nice ones right in there. I'm going to wet them, and that helps me determine the amount I want. When I wet them, you got to remember that it's just the tips that you're going to be using for the tail. Just go ahead and pull them off. And then I'm going to wet them, and then you take those couple long ones out of there. Going to tie these in, and it doesn't matter if it's if you tie it in long, but we're going to want about 3/4 the length of the hook shank. We're going to put like 3 wraps right there. 1, 2, 3. You get semi-tight. There was 4. And then we're going to pull them to length. Now I'm going to wrap the rest of it up. Take any loose ones out. Going to wrap it forward. And I'm going to bring that back. This just kind of helps you build up the body there a little bit. Now this is going to be a little bit long, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that. I'm even going to trim it at a bit of an angle. A little bit more. It'll help you get that taper on the body. Just wrap that all in. Now I'm going to take, for the rib, I'm going to use a fine stainless steel silver wire. going to take my thread and spin it counterclockwise so it flattens out, and that helps you to get better coverage. You have to do it several times because every time you wrap, it actually twists it. Every time you go around the hook, it's twisting it back. Then we're going to go up. Take that right up to the bead. Up here in the bead area or the thorax area, it doesn't matter if it's going to be if it is twisted or not. We get towards the rear again. I'm going to unwrap that and go back and then come forward. I didn't go back all the way. That helps with a taper. There's not much of a taper on here, but go ahead and twist that. Just twist it counterclockwise. And I'm going to bring that thread up to the bead. Now I'm going to take the black LivelyLegz, and there's the front, 90-degree, 85-degree angle. I'm going to trim that off just inside the end of the leg. And that's going to give me a little piece of tab to tie down, and it also helps with the distance from the bead. You butt that tab up to the bead. Okay. Now when I tie this in, I'm going to hold it towards my side, and then when you tie it in, it goes right over to it comes right up the top. Put several wraps on there, then move behind the front legs, come back. You don't want to pull it, you don't want to stretch it. When I get to the second set of legs, I'm going to tie that in pretty tight to the back of them, even give it a bit of a figure 8 there, and then bring the thread back to the middle. Now, this is obviously too long to put 3 in, so I'm going to trim that. I'm going to pull it here and trim it, and then what I'm left with is a one pair of legs with a tab in the front. After a few, then you can just tie them in singly. Now I'm going to take the rib and we're going to wrap that. Be careful near the legs, and then sometimes I end up putting it on top, sometimes it ends up underneath. We're going to tie that down between the legs. Just wrap that in there tight. And then you can helicopter this off. If you have extra fine wire on smaller ones, you could just break it. This one doesn't. This size doesn't break as easily. Now I'm going to bring that thread back to the back leg, and I'm going to use black rabbit crystal dub. I made this myself with the rabbit fur, and I mixed GSS pearl in with it. If you make your own dubbing like that, it's just a matter of can't really give you a formula. It's just kind of mix it in and do it by eye. And I mix it by hand myself. Depends how much you want in there. I'm going to put some more on there. I try to make sure that I get a little bit of the crystal flash on the end wraps. Because sometimes when you pull it out of your dispenser, you get a lot more hair than crystal flash. I'm going to bring that up in front of the legs and wrap that in. Now I'm going to take my whip finisher, 2, 3. Whip finishers are very easy to use. Take that hook, this is the Martelli whip finisher, put it on your thread, bring the thread around. And now I turned it upside down and you can see there's the X. Once, twice, 3 times. Tighten that up, trim it off. I'm going to pull the real long guard hairs out of that body. We got some nice crystal flash in there, or crystal dub. Got some nice flash in there. Go ahead and put a little bit of head cement on there. This fly's all one color, so you don't really need a wing case. It's going to look the same both sides. And here we have a LivelyLegz Black Rabbit Mayfly. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.